Hello everybody, this is Brandon with DB Services. Today I'm going to show you how to integrate your FileMaker database with Amazon Textract. Now Textract is a great service that allows you to parse text information out of images and PDF documents so that you can utilize that data in a more digital format. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you want to do is make sure that you have an AWS account set up and create a new IAM user. So you can see here in my AWS Management Console, I've generated a new IAM user and I've given them the S3 and Textract full access permissions. This will ensure that the user information that we're sending to Amazon from FileMaker has full access to do the things we need. So you'll notice S3, this is where we're going to be storing our information for our documents that we're going to be running our Textract process on. So you can see here, I've gone ahead and given public permissions to this box. You don't have to, but you do want to go ahead and create a new bucket that your user has permissions to for use with this Textract process. So here we can go ahead and make sure you've entered the access key and secret key for the IAM user you generated into your FileMaker database, as well as the region and the name of the bucket that you've created for this Amazon Textract integration. So here I've got an extremely simple image document that's just a basic table with some text in it. So we'll just use this as an example. So I'm going to go ahead and add this to my FileMaker database, and I can upload that document. Now, this whole process, all it's doing is using curl calls through kind of a generic send curl to Amazon script. The one thing that's different about Amazon, as opposed to some other APIs you may be familiar with, is that you're not using the access token process. You're actually sending a signature that contains the information about your user with the access key and secret key, and you're delivering that to the Amazon host for the service that you want. So in this case, we're just sending it our user information along with the data for the document and the bucket and region that we want to upload that to. So we can go ahead and upload that document, and there we go. Success. Now, the Textract process is not something that you're going to get instant results on. It could take a little while for it to run the analysis on the document you upload, particularly if it's a larger document, 100-page PDF, something like that's going to take it a little bit. So the first thing you do is actually just start that process. So we're going to go ahead and indicate that here. And so if you try and get immediate results, you'll see it's still in progress. So you can use a simple schedule, or you can use a notification service to constantly just check, on whatever interval you want, every few seconds, and see if the process is completed for the Textract job that you started. So we can go ahead and try again. Still in progress. So like for our simple table, it'll only take a few seconds. For a large PDF, multiple pages, it can take a good long while. So you can just run that check as often as you need to see when you have results available. Let's give it another try. Should be finishing up just here in a moment. Now what you're getting back when this succeeds and completes is a very large JSON object called blocks. So every single word that it finds, and if you go ahead and see here, it's now succeeded with our job ID. And I'll show you really quickly what we've gotten back from this, which is a significant amount of block data. So you can see we got like 280 different objects here, all this information. And what it's giving us is the location, the type of block, and any relationship children that element has. So how that's helpful for us here, if we view our process data, this is the raw text that Amazon just identified in the document we uploaded. So you can see here every single word that it found, as well as the confidence that it had that it correctly identified that word, the ID of the block from Amazon, and then the page number it was on, which in our case is all one because it was just an image. Now, each of these blocks also has that location, which gives you the top, the height, the left, and the width. And using that, you can do calculations to identify like words that are next to each other, either to the left or right, top or bottom, and use those kinds of calculations to parse key value pairs if you have like specific invoices or where specific words are going to be located on those pages. You can use those relationships to pull the data you need. Now in our case, Amazon is also able to send you back table and cell data. So if you look here, it identified in our table the row and the column for each a piece of text that it found in that table. So you can see here, for example, the first row is all of our column headers, name, surname, day, month, and then what column they were in. So for example, if we look at row 4, column 4, that should be the word August. So we go row 4, column 4, and then we know the word is August. So it's pretty easy. You can parse over that data and quickly and dynamically identify all the context of a table that Amazon has just given you right there. So pretty easy and straightforward. All you have to do is just be able to send those curl requests to get that process started and then parse your results. Generally, we recommend doing so by creating records, as you saw, for each of those block items. And then you can use those parent-to-child relationships, such as table to cell to word, or line to word, to identify where all of your information is. So thank you very much. Feel free, if you'd like to integrate Amazon with your FileMaker database, feel free to use the link below, contact DB Services, and we'd be glad to help.